Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Torment, Tides of Numenera. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today as we finish off this guy, give him a good smashing.
I barely heard it. Try something else.
Yeah, and try to open. He's just gonna keep coming back, but it's okay. We can keep sending him back. Yeah, we're trying to interact with those things. Last episode. No, you're gonna stay over there. Last episode, I let that tongue cluster feed on a memory of mine. I didn't even see what it was, which is actually sort of a letdown, because you know that's the fun part of this. But I can take control of the tongues and force them to open the nearest doorway, with all my might, please. We haven't slept. I still am touched by the bloom. Not touched by the bloom. I drank the nasty bloom juices. No, bloom juiced, I believe, is the thing that I have right now. Reach out with your mind, seeing your thoughts along the connections you've forged with the bloom tongues. Ascending your thoughts, yeah. Seizing control of their chittering voices. They hiss and whine, but they gradually fall silent. The sacks blocking their nearest doorway deflate, allowing you to pass. And they got hiccups as well. Okay. So we have another place over there, which is good, because we can go there next turn, and then that means we can open that. There's really no other way here. Yeah, there's no other way. I mean, there's that place over there, and we could go all the way around. There's another one over there, but going all the way around here might not be the correct choice. Oh, I'm not gonna kill him?
I barely heard it.
Is he
Try
special?
something else.
Or what happened? Yeah, this guy's hobbling us. That terrible thing over there is hobbling us, I should say. 4 acid damage. Sure. We're not actually doing or taking any
You never had a chance.
stat pool damage or anything, so it's all fine. So that's Eritis. I probably should bring you over here.
That's the stuff.
And then that's of course Aligern. We'll see how things go. So I'm gonna bring you over there. Just be prepared for what is about to happen. I think we'll be able to go there. This abacus is gonna take its while. Will we? Will we? We will. Awesome. Okay, so I could still use the tidal surge, but we haven't been doing this, and I want to do this. Let's allow the bloom to feed on my memories. I don't care, take damage, yep. The tongues worm into your memories, assessing and discarding your experiences like rotten fruit. After what seems an eternity, they settle on one, a close friendship that you betrayed. Was it intentional or accidental? The details slip away and you realize that you no longer remember. Even the friendship is forgotten. The tongues withdraw satisfied. Yeah, this is not these are not my memories, I believe. These are at least these have always been memories of the changing gods, so yeah, whatever, it's fine. Take control of the tongues and force them to, especially this memory. Well, I've betrayed a friend. Don't remember. It's fine. Take control of the tongues and force them to open the nearest doorway. And again, with all of my might, I make these testicular looking. Actually, these look like different things. You close your eyes and focus. The tongues slap at you, hissing, trying to distract you, but your concentration is pure and strong, and they finally submit to your will. A wave of stench, that wasn't me, passes over you as the fleshy sacks deflate, opening the doorway. There we go. Oh my god. And the thing is, these are probably the cleanest sort of organs that you can have, because lung, why do they have a health? Lung is, the lungs are really clean, it's really clean tissue. It's not like it's nasty. There's way nastier stuff in our bodies, but yeah, the lungs are decent. And I mean, with our relative human understanding of what is nasty and what isn't. Of course, we could smash through these things if we wanted to, but I didn't. Because that would draw the bloom's attention. And it's not like I've not been killing these little maws, because they're corpuscular maws. Stop that. Oh, we missed!
This isn't right.
It is, it's fine, it's okay. Okay, what are you gonna do? You can do that! You can do that. What the hell? Oh, of course it can do that. It's okay. It's okay. We're out of here. That little abacus over there. He's yeah.
There we go.
He's not gonna have a fun time with the whole thing, but you know, it's life. Hopefully, it is life. But I mean, he came here because he wanted to attack things, and hopefully that corpuscular maw is not gonna engage Aligern or whatever. Yeah, he's taking damage. It's the first damage he takes, actually. And there's another one. They just keep appearing. What? A transdimensional rift tears open, and several humans tumble out. Inkpot? What? The Great Devourer has called us to the heart, he says. You recognize the shrill voice of Inkpot, the Bloom cultist. A trespasser and defiler is tormenting our god. Let us punish him, brothers. Well, it's a good thing I'm not there anymore, because you guys are aggressive, so screw you, Inkpot. Actually, I wasn't your friend. I was gonna say I was your friend. I wasn't. I really wasn't. Well, I kind of sold the thing that he gave me. So I can do many things here. Greasy gray tubes feed a thin, rank fluid into the puckered wall of the heart. This is the heart. Okay, yeah. An enormous irised... Well, it's got an iris. That's what it is. Muscle contracts and pulses, as if held shut by a godlike act of will. But my smashing will bring you down without any effort. Without any effort. You stand atop one of the veins, pinching it tight. The walls of the tube flex and strain, and you press down harder, just as another surge forces more bloom juice through it. The elastic skin of the tube tears, and yellowish fluid sprays out. Unfortunately, it's not enough. You'll have to further weaken the sphincter before it will open. My god, the innuendos in here. Everywhere. Everywhere. Okay, so can we do quick hands over here? Because, you know, we've used force first. Well. We can cut it open with a transdimensional scalpel now. I could do that. Huh. The sphincter in the wall has relaxed somewhat. The muscles still contract and bulge, but without the same mindless ferocity. Okay, let's use that. You slide... Oh. I don't like that. I don't like that. You slide the scalpel across the muscles that protect the heart, and they separate and fall away. Noxious fluid sprays from the wound, and the subsonic pulsing of the heart begins to race, as if in panic or fury. You carve a space large enough to crawl through.
I don't feel happy or good.
I wouldn't either. I honestly wouldn't either. This guy's still doing his thing, phasing out and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you do that. Can they not attack him? That'd be an interesting thing, because he's all phased out and stuff. Okay. So, of course, this... Oh. Please survive, Mr. Abacus. Yeah, he's taking physical damage nonetheless. Well, we're going through. Freaking hell. Party scattered. Didn't work. It's not really that scattered, is it?
Who's going to stop us now?
I don't know, but... The ink spot really wants to. Whew. I might die.
I can't die.
You might. That's not good. I mean, I've been in this crisis for a while. There's so many.
This isn't right.
Okay. You can't heal him. You can't get in there. Which is weird. But we're here. If you heal yourself, though, he gets health. So I'm gonna heal myself here. Oh, actually, you can.
Oh, I can breathe again.
Yeah, because they share health. Okay. That might not allow him to survive, but I think we're out. Yes, we're out! Oh, it's good. It's good. It's really good to have those things that share the fettles. And I just gained 100 experience. And there's a naked dude or an abacus. It's probably an abacus. Of course it's an abacus. But what is he doing? Is he praying? Well, now we have proper nice juicy tentacles. This is the sort of stuff that I enjoy. Not particularly. And that over there looks very much like what we came through. Okay, so let's go on in and see what this is all about. Ahead, you see a mass of bloom tongues bigger than any you have encountered thus far. They wave gently as if beckoning you forward. Your companions hesitate, looking to you. Aligarn, do you have any insight? He laughs. You're asking my advice now? I think you should have abandoned this foolish quest before it started. No, don't underestimate it, Cast-Off. that is more powerful than you by a long shot. He raises a forearm, showing his tattoos. And there are fates to be feared more than death. Whatever I think of him, he thinks, I wouldn't wish my fate on anyone. What about you, Tibir? How should I approach this? You're asking me? I didn't want to come here in the first place. And he wipes his forehead, his easy smile gone. Be smart, lad. You know what you came for. Don't accept any less, and don't give any more than what it's worth. That's all I got. I should have stayed in Sagas, he thinks. Nothing's worth this risk. Well, I called you here, didn't I? Ah well. What are you thinking, Eritis? Thinking? Nothing. A broad smile splits his face. But this is the greatest adventure a hero has ever invented. Isn't it? I need to bring one of them with me? Will you go with me, Eritis? Are you kidding? I was going to ask you to follow me. Yeah, let's attack this beast in its wiggly bits. Oh, so it's not just one of them. It's all of them. It's like it's the traditional... Well, I say traditional, but it only happens in a few RPGs. But sometimes it happens. At the end, we got a test of valor of all of our friends and all that. How about you, Tabor? Will you come with me? He raises his hand in front of him, palms out. Oh no! I followed you everywhere so far, but here's where I draw the line. Well, you're the cleverest man I know. If anyone can help me outsmart this thing, it's you. I'm not even gonna make an effort in saying that, apparently. But yeah, because he didn't have maximum sort of followership. He blinks, taken aback. I say, I have taught you a thing or two, haven't I? I don't know if we can outsmart it, but I'll help you just for that bit of blandishment. It was well done. Hey, Alligan, I need you in there with me, man. This is your quest, Cast-Off. I won't stop you from going in there, if that's what you think needs to be done, but I'll be damned if I'm going down with you. Please. I can't do this alone. His lips become a tight line, his shoulders droop, and he lets out a dejected sigh. Fine. But if I come out of this worse than I am already, so help me, I'll have my revenge on you. Alright, let's do this thing. It's interesting because I thought he really had maximum followship with me. Alligern did, but I don't know. Oh. This is not nice. Before you looms a twisted mass of cubes, arteries, roots, and tongues, heaving and pulsing in the murky light. The flesh glimmers with foul shades of purple and black, poked with pustules and necrosis. Bloom whispers gather, swarming around you like fat, buzzing flies. They sound distracted, confused. As you step closer, bloom tongues surround you, drawing you into a wet, nauseating embrace. Though they seem solid and corporeal, they somehow pass through your flesh, thrusting into your head, your limbs, and your guts, igniting prickly hot-cold sensations all over your body. The multitude of Bloom voices chitter and babble, clearly alarmed by your intrusion, but unable to muster an attack upon your mind. For the moment, the feeding of the abacus has made them tired and weak. So the abacus is eating? Or are they eating the abacus? I don't know if I should respect the Bloom here. Let's do sort of a power play. So we have quite a lot of options here, which all seem very enticing. I'm looking for a man called Ishin. Where is he? I can ask. Infiltrate the Bloom's mind using my intellect. Try to pull the Bloom tongues out of your body, which probably is a good thing because I'm gonna take damage after this. Speaking of which, can't. Stab the heart with the transdimensional scalpel. Yeah, stab the heart in the transdimensional scalpel. Right to this transdimensional scalpel. Yeah, we can do that. Tear one of the Bloom tongues in half, which probably would be intimidation. But I'm gonna use this because I think it's the power play. Let's infiltrate the Bloom's mind. and see what it is. It's actually not a power play. A power play is when you're actually just doing a move, a play, just to gain power. It's not what it is. It's to show off my power, really. So it kind of is a little bit of a power play, but there we go. Slowly, carefully, you extend your thoughts into the tubes and conduits of the heart, gently testing your ability to contract a muscle here or widen an artery there. You can hear the Bloom voices all around you, but they don't seem alarmed. Either they don't sense you at all, or they don't perceive you, your intrusion, as a threat. As you explore the limits of your new perceptions, you begin to understand the heart's composition, the fleshy nodules that serve as sensory organs, the tubes and arteries to feed the intelligence that dwells here, the roots of innumerable whispering minds that descend to this spot from every corner of the Bloom, tangling together to join their voices into a mad, chaotic union. I think these are my... I kind of want to do this one, observe the Bloom voices and try to understand what they are, but if I can get an intellect, I'm not reading, I'm just considering, if I can get an intellect on this, that does that. Let's see, search the Bloom's thoughts for the abducted scholar, Ishin, yeah. Try to take control of the sensory organs around the heart, try to control the arteries that lead into the heart, and examine the Bloom's memories. Let's go with that one, I think that might be a little bit better. Floating unnoticed among the Bloom's innumerable voices, you allow yourself to drift deeper into its mind. As the voices whisper amongst themselves, you begin to see brief images, to hear sounds, and feel hunger and satiation. These are its memories of the past. Screams echo in your ears as men and women are pulled into maws, their thoughts and personalities devoured, or simply altered, scrambled, changed into monstrous forms. You see limbs torn from bodies by eager Bloom tongues, eyes plucked out so that tendrils can slide gently into their sockets to reach the brains. For a moment, you see Grizzler, the Bloom guide, trapped into the embrace of a maw, and you can taste the raw flesh of his legs as the maw tears them off and devours them. You know in that moment that the Bloom will eat of him again and again, reveling in the taste of his undying faith that it will provide for him. A faith that is so ill-founded. And everywhere, you see and hear the Memovita, flashes of her early days, gathering followers to overthrow the old Memovita while publicly pledging her loyalty to him. Her rebellion against him as she slaughtered his people and dragged him down to the heart, binding him so that the tongues could feed upon him, slowly, in all the years of her ruthless rule. In all that time, she has never changed. Her face is the same now as it was when the Bloom first saw her. Let's drift even deeper into the Bloom's memories. All around you, whispers and chitters yield to more alien sounds, clicks and gurgles and dissonant tones. The memories change with them. Monsters stalk the corridors of the Bloom, gelatinous hulks, with flickering letters and numbers writhing beneath their skin. Multi-limbed machines with legs that skitter through 100 dimensions at once. Godlings formed from city-killing detonations, with voices of fire and smoke and screams. Flashing before your eyes are all the worlds the Bloom has seen, in their hundreds of thousands. You can sense the city creature crawling across time and dimensions since the universe was young, perhaps longer. Its voices changing, its flesh adapting, its senses changing. Your mind begins to hurt, barely able to comprehend the sensory impressions that are contained within the most distant memories. Fighting the urge to scream, you disengage at last, allowing yourself to drift slowly back to the surface of the Bloom's mind. And yet, even with that brief exposure, your senses have broadened, and you are better able to comprehend the impossible. Not even your sire dared to gaze so deep into an alien mind. So I permanently gained 2 intellect, and that's that. And I suppose that, yeah, that was 2 intellect to the pool, and at a maximum, of course, as well. Excuse me. Let's observe the Bloom voices and try to understand what they are. What they are, not what they say. You attend closely to the innumerable voices, chittering and whispering in the darkness of the Bloom's mind. Each of these voices is a tiny intelligence, a semi-autonomous piece of the Bloom's consciousness. And there are millions of them, perhaps tens of millions. The Bloom can spawn them at will, increasing its ability to think and perceive, blending them into maws and tongues and organs. It can also devour them, cannibalizing its own screaming minds. Contemplating the bloom's intelligence as a whole, you have an impression of a mind that is always shifting, never constant, giving birth to countless fragments of itself, even as it devours others. Not really sure what to say about that. How about it as a biological system? For a time, you listen carefully to the booming pulse of the heart and observe both its physical movements and its internal sensory experiences. Your knowledge of natural sciences provides a useful framework, though the bloom is unlike any creature that you or your sire have ever examined. Unlike the heart of a normal creature which pumps blood through the body, the bloom's heart draws fluid to itself. These fluids are thoughts and memories, no doubt swollen from victims of the bloom, rendered into physical form. They feed the innumerable intelligences that coalesce here, knitting them closer together, strengthening the greater intellect of the bloom. Deprived of these fluids, you suspect that the heart would be weakened considerably. Okay, that might be good to know. If I want to kill the bloom, not sure that I want to. I'm really not sure that I want to. This is not the sort of thing that I probably would go around killing, considering that it's basically probably way more important in itself than pretty much all of humanity. Because it's got in itself all of humanity, and it is a big, old, wise thing that I probably shouldn't be messing around with too much. Let's search the bloom's thoughts for the abducted scholar Ishin, and see what happens. Because that's our objective. Memo Vita wants that. While your thoughts are joined to the bloom's, you can almost understand its voices. Almost. A whisper will spark a fleeting image in your mind's eye. A hiss will elicit a flash of anger or desire or some alien emotion that you can't even comprehend. As you listen and watch, you see occasional images of a vague human figure. When you focus on them, try to hold them still. You see an isolated pocket of flesh, a cyst filled with thick black juices in which the man floats, curled up like a fetus. The cyst is wrapped carefully in fleshy tendrils and knotted muscles, watched closely by tiny, chittering minds that were spawned for exactly this purpose. Okay, let's try to take control of the sensory organs around the heart before we mess around with Ishin and see what happens. Quietly, cautiously, you extend your consciousness into the bloated little sacs that quiver on the surface of the heart and within its many conduits. If you wished, you could put them into a sort of slumber that would make it harder for the bloom to sense your presence. Okay, let's put all the sensory organs around the heart to sleep. All over the heart, the blubbery nodules slowly deflate, sinking into torpor. To your relief, the bloom makes no sound of alarm. Let's try to take control of the arteries as well that lead into the heart. That is a simple thing. Look at that. Didn't even need to use up my normal hedge. Taking great care to avoid detection, you slip in your thoughts into the tubes and arteries, assuming control of them. You already know that these fluids feed the intelligences that coalesce here, and if you choose to contract all the arteries at once, you would deprive the whole heart of energy. Let's not do that. That's gonna kill the bloom. And if it doesn't, if it's not what if I'm misunderstanding this, I don't think I'm gonna need that. But that was a very easy check. So I could understand that both ways. I could understand that it's an easy check to give pretty much all players the ability to try and kill off the bloom. Because, you know, that's not really that hard. You just need 2 points in intelligence to, actually, it might have been in intellect. I mean, it might have been something else, but because I mean, this is really tricky for a character with low intellect, because to do all the things that we're doing, because, you know, we're not actually spending our intellect, but a character that doesn't have that much edge on intellect would have some trouble. But yeah, let's try to gain control over the fibers and muscles that guard Ishin. Easy. Let's go with that. Moving slowly and cautiously, you follow the faint whispers of the tiny, chittering minds that watch over Ishin. They're not far from the heart, centered around a foul little cyst, just as you suspected. When they sense you approach, or your approach, they squeal in alarm, but you overwhelm and silence them. You sense the remains of the transdimensional rift in the cyst, probably the same rift that the bloom used to capture Ishin in the first place. It should be possible to reopen the rift and set him free, but the bloom will know when you do. Okay, let's reopen the transdimensional rift in Ishin's prison and set him free. You whisper softly to the rift, and it begins to take shape. Ishin stirs, and the knotted muscles that surround his cyst tremble with alarm. The heart is slow to respond thanks to your limited control of its functions. But as the rift is about to open, thousands of chittering voices hiss in rage. They rock the cyst to and fro, causing the rift to unravel again. At once, Bloom voices rise all around you, shrieking and chittering, trying to cast you out of its mind. But I'm gonna try and resist, try to maintain my presence in the Bloom's mind. And that's an easy one as well. The Bloom's innumerable voices swarm over you, but your will is strong, and you stand firm. A terrible groan, like the cry of some undersea leviathan, shakes the whole earth. Or the whole heart, actually. Then the voices go quiet, and a scene begins to play out in your mind's eye. A memory, stolen by the Bloom from someone else. The perspective is a woman's, and she's speaking to a man. You recognize the changing god at once, though his body is an old one, from long ago. The pair stand upon a circle of gold, the sky overcast and clouded above them. Mil Avest. Not even your handiwork is proof against time, murmurs the woman, turning her face from the changing god to hide it. I am a monster, she thinks, rotting from the outside in. No, Marilel, says the changing god. I have no way of fixing you, but you need not live in shame. Oh, because was she decaying? She was decaying against time. I think that's what... one thing we need to remember is that the first cast-offs were better, or worse actually, were worse than the last cast-offs, and I am the last cast-off, I'm the best. But that's because, you know, just purely from a biological standpoint, I am more powerful than all of them. And the first cast-off must be the weakest. And apparently time had something, yeah. Anyway, he reaches into a pouch, and the woman knows that he means to give her something. His gifts are always wondrous, but if you accept them, you are never the same again. The changing god hands her a mask. The expression... Oh, the mask. I never understood. The promotional images for this game had somebody with a mask. Somebody with a zombie-like face. Basically, without skin, like just muscle and tissue inside. Well, skin is tissue, but you know what I mean. Just like flesh without skin. And then a mask over it. And that's the promotional image for this game. You might have seen it, actually, because it's, I think, right, the first thing that you see if you buy it on Steam. The expression is enigmatic, she notes, just as their relationship has been, or has become. A pretty thing, she says, feeling bitter, disappointed. I can just as well wrap my face in bandages, or cover my head with a sack. Put it on, he insists. Of course, she realizes there is something more to this gift. She raises it to her face, and the memory stops, cut off by the bloom. Its voices chitter, insistent. They want you to finish it, to recall your sire's memory of this event. Well, I don't know what to choose. You delve into your hidden memories, seeking the moment the bloom has just showed you. To your surprise, the bloom voices are beside you, helping you focus, pushing aside similar memories that distract you. At last, the memory surfaces. It isn't exactly as the woman remembered. The details are different, like the color of her robe and sky above, clear and blue in your sire's recollection, but now you recognize her for who she is, Marilel, the first cast-off. She holds the mask you gave her. Put it on, you hear yourself say, and she places the mask over her face. At once, it seems to meld with her flesh, and her face becomes that of a lovely young woman. Her eyes widen, knowing that something has changed, and you hold up a looking glass for her to see. She laughs aloud, a sound you haven't heard from her in years. You can change your face at will, you say to her. Try it. Marilel nods, watching the looking glass carefully as her face morphs into that of an old woman, then a homely beggar lady, then a Varielan. A dozen more. The last face you see is a dark-haired regal in bearing. It is the face of the Memovira, accompanied by a distinct sense of hunger from the bloom. The memory fades. And with that, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Torment, Tides of Numenera. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.